day and night. Day and night. I don't know the words, so it's day and night. I think the song's about smoking weed. It's day and night. And night. Welcome back to the Moon Squad. We are here to talk about episodes 3 and 4 of Moon Knight, which are, in my opinion, the worst episode of the show so far, and the best episode of the show so far, respectively. What about you, Rein?
Man, worst is a mean way of putting it, but I think
it's the least best.
No,
it's the least best one.
No, you're right. It's as of recording, I've seen episode 4 kind of very recently, but episode 3, it's been a little over a week. But now that I'm thinking about, it's definitely the weakest.
Definitely some parts we liked, and we'll get into that here in a minute. And episode 4 is amazing, but we'll get into that in even longer a minute. Let's just start nice and quick with episode 3 here. I don't have a ton to say, but there are some standout moments. Otherwise, it's just kind of like, it's fine. It's not super exceptional. The one thing I kind of want to complain about is the fight scenes in this episode specifically feel like they lack weight. I don't know what happened. They feel like they lack weight.
They're just awkward. They're so... The editing, too, for me, on especially the first scene, like, where they're on the rooftops, it just felt really off.
Yeah, especially because they did it so well the first episode, and then this episode is just kind of a mess. I didn't get what happened. And that fight scene with the horses, which I liked the idea of the set piece a lot. Yeah. I just don't think it was super well executed, which was disappointing.
100%, yeah. Just really that whole segment, just kind of... Yeah.
Which is a shame, because that actor, whose name escapes me, may he rest in peace. This was one of his final roles. It's a shame he died in his 30s. That, really sucks. He had a big career ahead of him. I think he was in The Worst Person in the World, I think. So, he was really starting to take off here, and it sucks he died so young.
Yeah.
But I'm, Yeah, there are some aspects of the episode I like, though. Every time Ethan Hawke is on screen, of course, it's, great, because he's always great. When he comes into that one scene, it's the best part of that scene. I, of course, like Mark and Steven's dichotomy. I like the allusions to Jake. I love how immediately we started getting some more heavy allusions to Jake, confirming he's gonna show up eventually. And I can't remember, there were multiple things I pointed out to you as being done well, but the thing... Oh, I remember. The trial scene is, I think humor done well. Because it's weighty, but it has, this funny thing to it where, help me. Khonshu is we have to have ironclad evidence. And he goes in there and he's like, he's bad because I said so! I kind of like that he's whining. I felt like... I was honestly surprised when you said you kind of like that part, too. At least that's what you said in the text. No. Maybe you feel different now.
No, the episode is,
For the record, I know we're complaining, but it is a good episode.
Yeah, it's just kind of a bumpy part.
In a sea of great, this one was only good.
It has a lot of great moments. I think really the whole scene with the comedian of the gods. I thought that was fun. Can you hear my roommate?
I heard someone say right.
All right, that was my roommate. If he keeps talking, Anyway. The whole meeting with the god scene, I thought that was pretty fun. And then really, the only action scene of note, the only moment in the action I appreciated was when we get to see the fading in, fading out effect, but but both personalities are confused, what the heck's going on, like you're saying, with the inclusion of Jake. It's actually funny, the argument between Mark and love interest woman's name I am blanking on. They Layla. I keep thinking it's Marlene, it's gonna be in the comics, but
come on, I said last episode that maybe it's the comics or Layla. I don't know why I said that. Layla was invented for this show. I think I confused her with Marlene.
No, I know. I would have done the same thing. Anyway, their whole argument where he where his New York accent gets stronger. I know in the comics he's from New York, I believe. But for a second I thought, is this supposed to be Jake? For a second, because he's being extra mean, meaner than he normally would be.
Yeah, but then I
don't
think
think
it's just
that's
Mark.
The actual case. Yeah, no, it's not the actual case, but I'm just grasping at straws, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just building up to my definitive favorite moment in the whole episode. The moment where Khonshu is spinning the globe just so they can pinpoint the date or move the stars, align the stars.
That part was
just
awesome.
in the right way.
And I said this to you.
Cool.
It must be terrifying being an astronomer in the MCU that day. An Egyptian astronomer specifically is terrifying.
It reminded me deeply of my favorite action set piece I've ever read in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
This fucking guy.
Yeah. I need you to include your reaction when I told you that.
I'll make sure it stays in.
And then, dang, I was going to say one more thing, but I forgot.
You just really like it when stars go back.
Oh yeah, it was very hilarious though, because it's like, I'm pretty sure there are apps you can do. It's like, oh, what are the stars this year?
You could have just downloaded an app. Instead, Khonshu was like, I'm gonna go extra. Which, to be fair, pretty accurate for Khonshu in the comics and in the show so far.
Yes. And yeah, so good time all around, but not best time.
Yeah, I pretty much agree universally with Rein. That star sequence was easily the best part. Weakest episode of the show so far, but again, that's only because in a sea of great, this one was merely good.
Yes.
Now, episode 4, on the other hand, what's not to love with this one? It has a super incredibly effective horror sequence.
Yes.
Just straight up, that uses the limited CGI incredibly well. It has an awesome set piece, just the entirety of being in the tomb. It has way more stakes because Mark isn't Moon Knight anymore. He doesn't have those powers now, so it adds an incredible attention to stakes. And then the last 10 minutes might be the most jaw-on-my-floor shit I have seen out of the MCU ever. You said on the last episode, I think they're going to make it so we think it's all in his head again. And I'm genuinely wondering, wait, was anything we just saw real at all? I think ultimately it's going to be. But I don't know. I genuinely don't know now.
My theory, this is exactly, like, I remember, like, I was thinking, if I did a Moon Knight episode, this is a sequence I would have. And it's basically scene for scene, shot for shot, what I would have done. I mean, not to try and make it, like, narcissistic. Although, I do think it would have been cool.
I'm a god, is what you're saying.
I think it would have been real cool, and, like, obviously, would have, way too, it would have been distracting. It would have distracted away from the tight narrative to have MCU callbacks. It was like, and normally I would be against it for the service of the story, but it's like the one exception where it would have been really cool if, like, they would have had, like, Chris Hemsworth or Scarlett Johansson, like, in the corner. Just like that.
Yeah.
Just like all it's just all just made up.
Well, there's a lot of, like, people have pointed out, you see the statue guy in there. You see, like, the lady that was his boss in there. You obviously see Layla in there.
Yeah.
Well, you do see those people in there.
Yeah.
You just wanted more of the outside MCU in there to kind of add to it. Because I think they're ultimately... I think that part is in Mark's head, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. But, everything you're saying, I was never, whenever I would hear, like, for example, Multiverse of Madness, like, it's going to be we're going to do horror, and it's like, it's just going to be spooky laser beam battles. Like, that's just was my expectation, like, whenever I hear stuff like this. But no, this is, like, actually kind of scary. Actually, the whole sequence with that mummy was great. And then, this is probably the best, like, kiss I've seen in an MCU thing. Like,
which is because it's so awkward. It's so awkward. It makes it feel very real.
But, like, it's nice. And then, it was, just local man gets cucked by himself. It's very hilarious.
I think on the last episode you said something like Ethan Hawke is his doctor or something like that. I think you said something like that. You didn't look at me. I made a face when you said that because I was trying to hide the fact that was the one thing I did get spoiled for me.
Okay.
Was I just read this single line. So Ethan Hawke is his therapist, and I went, click away, click away!
Hey, Tanner here. You might be wondering why we suddenly switched to a visualizer midway through the vidcast. Well, here's Tanner from the future telling you I'm in the middle of trying to edit this, realizing I don't have enough time to finish it, and also, the visualizer switch is because the recording stopped halfway through. We still had the audio, but the visual recording stopped. I don't know what happened, so that's why the sudden switch halfway through. As far as the lack of B-roll the rest of this episode goes, it's because I started a new job, and I wasn't able to start on this as early as I wanted to, and I don't want it to come out late. So sorry about that. Please enjoy the conversation Rein and I have for the rest of the episode.
That's good. But very strong episode. Probably like the most. I would have to rewatch it, but probably the most like out there. Some of the more out there imagery, like as far as like film techniques go, like for that MCU has done,
right?
The MCU property has done.
Like the horror sequences are straight up incredibly effective. That's just straight up good horror.
Yeah. Which
makes me really hopeful for Multiverse of Madness. Again, I'm really hopeful that they might actually go there now. Mm-hmm. Because Sam Raimi is a master of the horror, so you know. Mm-hmm. I do notice that my 2 favorite episodes of the show so far, 2 and 4, have been directed by the same directing duo.
Oh, okay.
This does remind me, speaking of directors, I just want to put this out there. The funniest fucking leak, the only leak I ever heard about Moon Knight coming in, and it so far seems like this was just bullshit, unless they're hiding episode 6 director or something, but, there was a rumor that George Clooney directed an episode of this show for the longest time.
I remember you telling me that.
I think I even told you, like, I don't know what this is, but this is what people are telling me. I don't think it's true, but because to me that's like not a like hiding that an actor is in a show. Sure, that's one thing. Hiding that someone's direct. What the fuck are you? That's dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, though. I mean, really, what it is the horror is incredibly effective. Those last 10 minutes, I can't get over those last 10 minutes. First off, you have the strongest allusion to Jake Longley yet with that third sarcophagus that was like red and looked more violent. The only thing that would have made it more fitting is if it was in a taxi cab. Just a sarcophagus in a taxi cab. Which reminds me, I think in that first episode, remember when Steven wakes up and he's driving the car backwards? I think that was Jake.
Oh, yeah, I like that idea.
I think because that's his thing, is he's a really good driver.
Yeah.
So I think that would make perfect sense.
I do really like, I guess to go back briefly to episode 3, how they really, like, just everything we've seen, like, this is the Shadow the Hedgehog of
this is the edgelord personality.
Like, he's, like, kind of like a rough around the edges guy in the comics, but this is he's fucking dark. He'll just, like, freely stab people left and right.
So the effects work in the episode is brilliant. Mm-hmm. The last 10 minutes, again, batshit insane. I love the sequence where Mark is with therapist Harlow. I think it's really well done. And then he looks around and he sees all these objects and realizes that, like, these were the things he was hallucinating. It ends on an image of a hippo, who I believe is the goddess of fertility. And also, in the comics, she's the goddess that leads people to the afterlife.
Yeah.
She's the one that actually, like, pilots the boat to the afterlife, which before she finds Steven... You see how the thing kind of creaks like a boat almost? Which makes me wonder, is this like a vision in his afterlife? And is she going to give him a second chance at life?
Yeah.
Again?
I do think I could see that because it's like, because I do think ultimately they are going to... They're
like, I don't think they're going to turn DID into it was 2 guys. I don't think they're going to do that.
It was as great of an image that was, though, like, as, like... but... That was a great moment, just looking at it, but, fuck, what was I saying? I do think, because they're going to try and have their cake and eat it too, where it's like, oh, this all could possibly be instead, or it could all possibly be real. I do think their workaround for this is, if you take this is all in his head route, he's just, once he starts hallucinating again, it's all just a hallucination. He's just still in the mental hospital the whole time. But if you take it's real path, like, yeah, they'll probably do something where, like, this is, like, some sort of purgatory state he's in right now, and she's going to take him back to the real world, sort of deal.
The sequence where he's shot is really well done too. I love the shot of him falling into the light. That was gorgeous.
It was amazing.
I think I feel, or go ahead.
No, I do like how we're just like, man, that was cool. Oh man, that was cool.
There's not more to say. It was just
such a good episode.
If it's not this, it's episode 5 of Loki for my favorite MCU episode, period. Mm-hmm. I'm also really partial to the season finale of Hawkeye. I really like that one too. Marvel, these MCU shows be hitting, I think, at a better rate than the movies do. Well, but lately the movies have been really hitting too, so what do I know? You know? Like, the movies have been hitting and these shows have been hitting. So the fact that the few people who actually wound up accidentally seeing episode 5 early say it's better than 4 has me incredibly excited.
No, that is insane.
I guess we'll just end this with how excited are you for these next 2 episodes, man?
I don't know. Yeah, this so far it's been my favorite MCU Disney Plus thing.
Same.
Probably up there, just MCU in general.
I think it's like Marvel Netflix level. When Marvel Netflix was really good, I think it's at that level. Or at least close to it.
I'm just so happy that they're able to get these great actors for this. They're able to get these great performances. They seem to really like the material too. It's just makes you happy.
They're adapting Moon Knight, and they're adapting him incredibly well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had one other.
Okay, yeah, lay it on me.
I think you mentioned this, just like taking off, media analysis hat and just putting on like, nerd, like, I wonder how this is going to be in the MCU thing. It is. I am very curious, like, and you did mention this before, but like, because like the way the gods are portrayed here, it's just so different than how they are in the like how the Asgardians and how the Greek gods, I'm sure, are going to be, and like all the other pantheons.
They're basically aliens. These seem to be proper gods.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. Like my guess is like they're just not going to touch it for now. Like in the next Thor, they're just not going to. There's not going to be an Egyptian planet or whatever.
Yeah, but Gore wants to kill all the gods. I have a strong feeling the Egyptian gods are going to show up in that movie.
It's just like I'm trying to like.
I've heard some people say Gore might show up in this show. I hope that's. I don't want that. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Please, let this be as independent from the rest of the MCU as possible for now. Of course, I want to see Moon Knight interact with everyone eventually. Just keep it separate for now, please.
Yes, no, my thoughts exactly. Again, it's just me thinking, having fun. It's like, oh yeah, I wonder how they're going to try and integrate it, or if they're just going to try and kick the can down the road.
I think they're going to kick the can down the road because it is so radically different. The only thing we've seen that's even remotely similar to this is Bast, who is just another Egyptian god. So, I do have a prediction for the ending of the character arc. Mm-hmm. I think the show ends with Arthur Harrow offing himself.
Oh yeah, I could see that. Oh, yeah,
like
no,
he's judged by Ahmed to be unpure, and he just does it himself. Like I think that's where his arc goes.
Oh yeah, no, I was thinking that'd be an interesting thing. Where I would really like it if like he knew that ahead of time. Like this whole time he knew he probably isn't going to be worthy. He's probably going to die, but like
he still was so steadfast in the ideology
that he's still going to go through with it.
It would fit in with the character we've seen so far.
Yeah.
I remember there was rumors he was playing Dracula. When they first announced Ethan Hawke, someone's like, ooh, is he Dracula? That would have been really goofy. I remember hearing the Dracula rumors and I went, listen, I love those meme panels as much as the next guy, but please tell me they're not going to make... Because I know some people dislike what the Deadpool movies and games have done to Deadpool as a character.
Yeah. Who
was way more serious before the movies and games came out. And I'm thinking, please don't make Moon Knight a joke. They haven't, thank God. But I remember that was a fear of mine back when they were developing the show.
Yeah.
So far, though, they're taking him really seriously. They're treating the DID with respect. Mm-hmm. And episode 4 is so good.
Yeah. I think,
you know what else?
Yeah.
Or go ahead.
No, go on. I was going to just say... I don't
You know what else
to say.
Is so good? You! The person watching this vidcast. Thank you all so very much for watching this vidcast. If you enjoyed it at all, please leave us a like. And while you're down there, comment below and let me know. What do you think of episodes 3 and 4 of Moon Knight? Are you excited for episodes 5 and 6 of Moon Knight? And finally, do you believe in Arthur Harrow? Comment below and let me know. While you're down there, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell icon. I am inside your walls. Thank you all so very much for watching. Tune in a couple weeks for the next one. Bye!
They slid my ticket across the table and I said, sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl.